Welcome, love, to this sacred series where I'm exploring feminine wounds. This is episode 2, and today's topic is something that lives in the cells of every woman on the earth. It's about inherited shame and silence around the feminine body. I've spent years unraveling the shame that I carried towards my body. And while healing is not a destination, but this is one thing that I can for sure say is that I've come a long way from where I started, but there are still these tender places that I'm learning to hold with love. And today I want to share a few stories and reflections from my journey that may resonate with some of you here. Okay, so when I was a teenager, I never ever felt beautiful. But I remember when I was a child, I never cared about beauty at all. I was just this little girl who had no idea that one day I will also fall into this heartbreaking pattern of never feeling enough. So as the years passed, I started noticing my so-called imperfections. So I never had perfectly aligned teeth ever in my life. I've gone through the orthodontic, I hope I'm saying it right, the braces, like the treatment that where you put braces in your teeth twice in my life. And now with this 3.5 wisdom teeth that are popping out in my mouth, I feel like my smile is shifting again. And just the other day, I was looking at myself in the mirror and I thought that maybe I should get braces again. It's time to get the braces again, Isha. It was funny because, you know, if you've gone through that treatment, then you know that it's quite painful for you, for the jaws and this whole facial structure. Okay, enough about the teeth. But the other thing that I want to mention is that I've lived with sinus issues since I don't know how many years, and I even got my deviated septum fixed through surgery. And still, when I look into the mirror, I see that my nose is still not perfect. It's the nose bridge is still uneven. When I look at it, I still wish, I wish it looked different. Another imperfection, the story of imperfection that I received from someone else, like from the external world, was a few years back. I was sitting in a meeting room with a few people, and this person, this lady, she commented that, Isha, you're beautiful, but just a little Botox on your upper lip would balance out your face perfectly. And in that moment, I remember there was this inner voice that told me, leave the room right now. And I know this person was not at all trying to hurt me. And that was not her intention at all. I mean, this much I know because these kind of enhancements, like beauty enhancements, are very common in the country that I live in. And so these kind of comments are pretty normal here. But I just knew in that moment that that was not my path. Now, these might sound like random anecdotes, but they are not. Each little reflection, each moment we criticize ourselves, we hide ourselves, and we hope to reshape something in our physiology is actually, as per me, is part of a much older story. And it's like a collective story that's stored in our DNA. And this I realized when I was looking at my smile and I was thinking I should get the braces again. I felt like, even if I decide to go for it, I need to see my intention, first of all, behind it. Because I remember when I got it done in the past, my intention was basically my inner dialogue used to be that I look ugly. With this sort of the backstory running in my operating system, I'm not gonna get the results that I'm looking for. It's not gonna satisfy me. There will be something else that I might feel that, that has not been fixed properly. And that's why I feel like it's a much older story. Like there's a rejection that we have for ourselves, for our bodies, and it mainly plays out for the feminine. So I feel like it's coming from the story that where the feminine body has been judged, it has been controlled, it has been shamed, it has been silenced. And this has happened, I think, for generations, where the body has been made to feel either not enough or too much. Whether like her very existence, the feminine body's existence has been either hyper sexualized, like you have to be this perfect looking goddess, or it has been made invisible. So I feel that we have inherited this deep wound, a collective disconnection for the body, and especially from our feminine physiology. The whole feminine soul is kind of living it. So I was introspecting this story of kind of, not feeling enough where it originated first time in my life, in this life. And I remember something. But before I mention it, I want to ask you, do you remember your teenage years when your body first began to change? That sacred woman, when you were turning from a girl to a woman, did it actually feel sacred or did it feel uncomfortable, confusing, and painful? Because I remember not wanting to be a woman when I was growing up. I absolutely did not enjoy the pain in my breast, the cramps, the mess. And honestly, a part of me actually stayed frozen there for years. And that's why healing this part is so important. Like if there is a rejection somehow, if there is this feeling of disconnection from our feminine physiology, it's really important that we heal it. Because until we do it, we struggle to actually accept, embrace, and celebrate our feminine physiology. Okay, I also want to talk about something else here, which is cosmetic industry. It's booming like never before, but in many ways it actually reflects this same feminine wound that we are carrying. So many women feel compelled to change everything about themselves. Let me be very clear here. This is not about judgment. Enhancement procedures in some cases can be so empowering. They can definitely help a woman feel more aligned, more radiant, and more of herself. But there's a shadow here too. And I think we need to address that shadow. And the shadow plays out when this choice of going for something comes from shame instead of love. When we feel that we need to change in order to feel accepted. When we fall into the trap of copying someone else's face or body structure instead of expressing our soul. That is not beauty. That's pain playing dress up. And again, this is not about what's right or wrong. It's about bringing awareness to what's unconscious, to what we have inherited silently, generationally. Because a lot of us and a lot of women who came before us, they were told that their bodies were wrong. Their bodies were either too small or too big, too dark, too loud, too emotional, too hairy, too soft, too much or not enough. And most of us carry this within us, even if it's just a little bit. But the real question is, how much power are we willing to let it have over us? Give pause for a moment with me. Breathe and let everything in your body soften. I want you to soften your body fully. Just soften your belly because a lot of ways we carry this wound is how we judge our bellies, how we judge our thighs, how we judge our breasts. We carry it in how we judge our periods and how we endure the pain silently. We carry it in the way how we internalize the discomfort instead of questioning the system that has made us this way, where we are actually experiencing the discomfort because of the judgment, the ignorance, and how we have been taught to look at our bodies as a burden. And you know what? I wasn't taught any of this when I was growing up. Periods were just a hassle. Breasts were either shameful if they were small, like mine, or they were too sexualized. And no one ever told me about the intelligence of my womb. This space, the sacred space of creation that exists within me. No one ever taught me that my body had its own sacred rhythm. It's intuitive, it's alive, and it's divine. No school, no elder, no woman in my family, in my life ever taught me this. But I'm not complaining because they also didn't know. Although I had my questions, a lot of questions. So I went searching. I found books, teachers, wisdom keepers who helped me remember all of this. That my womb is a portal, that my menstrual blood is sacred, that my body cycle is a map, that my pain held messages that I'd never been taught to decode. And as I remembered all of this, I also saw how deep this shame runs here. This wound of not enoughness that is encoded in this body that we have inherited is what shows up as an obsession with fixing ourselves. And let me say this again, I am not against any enhancements, okay? If I want to go for my orthodontics treatment again, am I saying it right? Yeah, okay, braces treatment again, I might go. There's nothing wrong in that. But what I will be against, absolutely, this time will be my unconscious rejection for self. So when we change ourselves to fit a mold, that's not empowerment, that's self-abandonment. And this episode isn't about what is right and what is wrong. It's about reclaiming the choice and seeing it clearly that Our bodies are not a problem to fix. They are a temple that we need to return to. Your womb, your cycles, your breaths, your hips, your softness, your emotions, your pain, your pleasure, all of it holds wisdom. And if you've ever felt shame, silence, and discomfort around your feminine physiology or being in this feminine form, please hear me. You're not alone. This isn't just your pain, it's our pain. But that means healing is ours too. We just have to be willing to listen again, gently, curiously, and without judgment. You should reclaim your body as a sacred vessel. Stop hiding. Start remembering that your flesh holds the power, the wisdom. Release the shame around your body. Start tuning into your cycle, your softness, your sensuality, because these are not flaws, these are portals. And if you're someone who's struggling to heal her relationship, her connection with her body, I have a beautiful self-paced journey which is called Healing the Feminine Body. It's for the woman who's ready to reclaim her body as sacred, who's done hiding, who longs to remember that her flesh holds wisdom, not shame, that her cycle, her softness, her sensuality are not flaws, but portals. And if you're not quite ready to begin this full journey, there's a free video that I've created. You will see it on the screen somewhere here in a short while. So this video will walk you through the foundational steps, kind of like a soft starting point for you to begin owning your body, to reconnect, to listen, to honor what has been unheard, because sometimes just one breath, one gesture of love is enough to begin a journey back home. So in the end, I just invite you to take a pause and put your hand on your heart and your womb and just breathe and ask yourself, what has been my body trying to tell me that I haven't heard yet? And let this question be the beginning to lead you home. And I'll see you next time.